Okay, so you've decided on your story idea. Awesome. Now it's time to go into the drawing process. Before we start drawing the comic, we're going to work on some drafting in this third step, which is draw it out. Basically, in this step, you are going to practice drawing your characters and practice drawing your characters in certain positions. This step is really important for figuring out how your final comic is going to look, as well as refining the techniques that you're going to use. Now I'm going to show you how to design some characters. There will be character designers that are very serious about how they're going to design the characters, down to what color socks they're wearing. I'm a little less picky about that sort of thing. However, certain things about certain character designs will say a lot about the person your character is. Have you ever heard the phrase, a picture tells 1,000 words? It's almost like that. Now don't get me wrong, if you want your comic strip to be drawn with stick figures, draw your comic strip with stick figures. If you want to draw your comic strip with fleas, draw your comic strip with fleas. I don't really care. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is character design. So, when you're designing your character or just choosing your art style, you can do it many different ways. Some artists tend to draw a bunch of different characters based off of their idea and then like mix them up, you see, and then maybe like I'd have this face with the curly hair. Here, I'm gonna zoom in. Yeah, other times, I don't actually know. I'm gonna start over. Okay, so there's a lot of things you need to think about when you are practicing your drawing, and of course you have to think about the characters that are going to be in your comic. You might be drawing like an animal. I'm not very good at drawing animals, so this is not very impressive. That's Bunny, in case anyone didn't know. Or you could be having human characters, which I bet a lot of you will, but I don't want to jump to conclusions. For all I know, you're going to have a dragon, and that's great. So when you're designing your character, you have to think about like the type of person your character is. So if I were drawing someone who was athletic, I wouldn't give them a dress, you know, and unless your character is a athletic girl who also likes to wear dresses, in which case go for it. But the thing about art is that it's very creative and you can do basically whatever you want with it, but it is always a good idea for your character design to say a lot about your character. So for instance, if you have a tomboy, you would not want to have your character with this bun and this really girly outfit like that. But you might want your character to look outgoing, maybe like really short hair, this like loose t-shirt, or maybe even like I don't know, like these baggy shorts. I don't know, because it's all your choice. But it's always good to think about the type of person your character is when you design them. Hair also. So like for instance, someone doesn't really care about their appearance if they're gonna let their hair go all over the place like this, but you might be able to tell that a character cares about their appearance if like she has her hair in this really nice French braid. This is not a really nice French braid. It's actually a really messy braid I'm drawing right now. It's just always good to think about that. When you're also designing a character, you might want to think about the type of style you're using.
And you can use whatever style you want. So if you want this sphere style, go for it. Maybe like ignore me. Like you can have a really cartoony style, and that's cool. Or you could have like you could have an in between style where it's like, you've got this nice structure, but it's still very, you know, uh, cartoony. You could do it any way you want. Drawing stick figures over here. This is my stick figure person. They like soccer because they're holding a soccer ball. That was not a good soccer ball. I cannot draw soccer balls, by the way. Or you could be realistic. Like, it depends on how much time or, like, it depends on what you want to do. That's really what it depends on. That's what I was trying to get at. So I really like drawing, so I'm just drawing a bunch. So yeah, after characters, there's it's important when you're free drawing. So you've designed your character. Wait, Okay, so when you're designing your character, if you're getting all nitty-gritty, you can think about like facial features, because if you're gonna have more than one character, it might be a good idea to have some defining facial features, or else they're all gonna look the same. But hey, if you want them all to look the same, let them all look the same. You can always just negate it. So for instance, here I've got, no, that's ugly. Let me try again. Here I have two of the exact same picture, but if I just go in and color them differently, okay, so here's one. This guy, the other side's white, and then no, never mind. I'm gonna make that guy all red hair, cause it'll be fun. And then I'll give this guy some black eyes, and this guy some green eyes. And facial expressions also make a very big difference when it comes to this sort of thing. So if you have this guy like all smiling and this guy like all frown, okay, well that's pretty. And this guy all like scowly, and this guy all happy. Like, these are two different people now. This guy has some problems, and this guy is really happy and all. So yeah, just think about their expressions too when you're doing. Oh man, I made another layer. When you're doing this sort of thing. And yeah, so another thing you want to think about is like what type of pose your character is always in. So if your character's really happy, have them like in all these really fluid poses of happiness. Here's a character. They're really happy, so they're like jumping. This is how all my drawings start, just a bunch of lines. It's very exciting. So yeah, so when you're drawing, you have to like consider just the certain things. I always start my characters out kind of like this. Actually, that's going to be, I'm going to just think about characters. You want to think about the other parts. So for instance, you can practice drawing like buildings, depending on your setting. Or if you don't know how to draw, I don't know, if you're having like you're drawing a strip about fairies and you don't know how to draw like a fairy house, you can always go on the internet and look at pictures of a fairy house and then practice sketching it. This is just how I imagine a fairy house, maybe like a flower and then like a door. Okay, so
for this video, I want you to free draw your character and your character ideas. In our Zoom tomorrow, we'll show each other our practice and our finished character designs.